Hey y'all. Mm, mm-mm. Oh, today I'm outside. I'm hoping the sun's not too glary for you, but today D is for David, but only with his relationship to Goliath, because David, he's mentioned just about as much as Jesus is in the Bible. So David's in 1 Samuel, and he's the baby boy of Jesse. Jesse has, I think, 8 kids. And God chooses David to be king of Israel. He will be the second king of Israel, and he will bring all of Israel together. He's a man after God's own heart, and he's in the line of Jesus. So David's a shepherd boy, and he's ruddy, you know, and he's handsome. And his brothers are a little jealous of him. His brothers go to war with King Saul to fight the Philistines. And the Philistines have this huge giant called Goliath that just scares everybody. So the Israelites are on one side of the valley, the Philistines are on the other side, and Goliath's over there is talking trash. Well, now David got sent to the war by his father, but not to go to war, just to visit his brothers and bring them food and see what's going on with the war effort. You know, the father's elderly, he's a little worried. What are you doing here? Who'd you leave your sheep with? You know how the older brothers would pick on the younger brothers. Well, but David says, what have I done now? So you could tell there was a history here, the teasing and the daunting. And but anyway, David's talking to his brothers, and he hears this Philistine, Goliath. Supposedly, he's over 9 foot tall, and Goliath is, talking trash and saying, "I'm going to take you on. Send anybody over. I'll feed you to the birds." Well, David says he's insulting God. He's insulting the Israelites. I want to take this guy on. And, they kind of like all laugh, he's a teenager. And anyway, somebody goes to tell Saul this, the king, and the king says, let me talk to this boy and see what it's all about. And David says, look, I'm a shepherd. I fought a bear. I fought a lion. I killed him. I took the sheep right out of their mouth. And I did it only with God's help. So this is how Saul said, okay, go for it. You can imagine what his brothers were thinking, right? But anyway, Saul dresses him up in all this armor. Well, David can hardly walk. He's got 100 pounds of armor, and he says, I can't do this. And he takes all this armor off, and he picks up 5 stones for his slingshot. 5 stones. Keep in mind, 5 is the number of grace. Grace is Jesus. Grace represents Jesus. So he just looks right at that Philistine, and that guy's teasing him, and he's saying, I've got God on my side. All you've got is a big sword and a big height. And David doesn't even question it. He doesn't say, God, will you please help me win this battle? You know what David does? This is what he does. Let me see if I can find it. You come against me with sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have insulted. Today the Lord shall deliver you into my hands, and I will strike you down and cut off your head. Now this is confidence. This is faith. This is like he knows God's already done it. God has already handed him Goliath. And so what or who is your Goliath? Are you struggling with finances? Does it feel like a giant of a problem that you can't shake, you don't know what to do? Well, I'll tell you what, you start praying, because the battle belongs to the Lord. That's what David said. That is what God wants you to know your battles belong to the Lord. So learn who God is. Follow his laws. Follow his rules. Live like a Christian and give all your battles, all your Goliaths to God. So, of course, David kills the giant, chops his head off. He becomes a national hero. But that's another story. So anyway, D is for David. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Blessings to you.